Mm-hmm. That's correct. Perfect. I'll see you there. Alright, bye. Hey Sean, thanks for coming early.
Yeah, no worries.
Now as you know, I'll be away for a few days and I need you to stand in for me.
Yeah, another business trip, eh?
Yep, and it's not coming in the perfect time either. Anyhow, we have another supernatural case coming up. Our office neighbor Sophia's got a client who's being visited by, as she put it, the Undead.
Mm-hmm. Sophia's the psychic working next door, yeah?
That's right. Now the case file's in there. Sophia will also visit you later on in the day, so if you need any more information you can ask her. So here's the keys. And I think that's it. You know how everything runs anyway.
Ilona and Michael, they're finished with their cases, yeah?
Yeah, they're both free.
Cool.
As always, any dramas, give me a ring.
We'll be right.
Alright, bye.
Have a good one.
Thanks. See you next time.
See ya. Come in. Hi, I'm Sean.
Sophia, nice to meet you. Alex told me you will be leading the investigation.
Yes, I've already had a chance to look over the case notes, so we can start whenever you're ready.
Great. The reason why I want you guys to step in is because I can't feel anything supernatural around my client. Now, I know you guys are skeptical of such things, but normally, if there's supernatural presence, I can feel it.
Okay. Rachel knows you're here, right?
Yes, but I must say that she's a lawyer, so it's important to her that all of this remains confidential. You know, things like this can really damage somebody's reputation.
Of course. Now, Sophia, I'm going to have someone speak to Rachel later, but now I want you to tell me everything that you know is what's happened.
Well, all of this started happening to Rachel after a car crash.
Hi, sweetie. How are we feeling? Yeah. You're looking good.
Sophia visited our office on behalf of a client who got into an accident on the way to work.
Everyone misses you at work. Place isn't the same without you.
Rachel's injuries were so severe that they led to a clinical death on the way to the hospital.
I'm sure it'll all be over soon.
Luckily, the paramedics managed to restart her heart, but no one could have predicted that the consequences of the accident will have a much heavier impact on Rachel's life.
Who are these people? Rach, what do you mean?
Oh my god. It's nothing. It's nothing, don't worry.
From what you're saying, it sounds like hallucinations. Hi,
Hi, I'm Sophia.
Ilona. Nice to meet you.
Michael?
Well, we can't just jump into assumptions without speaking to Rachel in person. By the way, Sophia's going to assist with the investigation.
Alex has already left, hasn't he?
Yes, we can call him if there's anything urgent, but other than that, you guys report to me.
Rachel Johnson, 29, single, lawyer. So that's where you are now.
Do you know her?
Mm-hmm. We used to study criminology together back in the day.
Right.
So she gets visited by the undead ones.
It appears to be the case, but I like to think she's getting visited by the dead ones.
So what makes you think that it's a dead ones she sees?
That's how she put it down to me. Those people are dead. She was thinking that she was going insane, but after all the tests that she's done, the doctor says she's mentally healthy. That's when she decided to come and see me, even though she doesn't believe in things supernatural. There are cases after clinical death, people started to see things that they're not meant to see, but in this case, I can't sense anything.
But how can we help you?
The scariest thing is that Rachel thinks they want her dead.
Would you mind if we're going to see her myself?
Go for it.
What else?
Hi.
Elena!
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. Come
Good
in.
to see you.
You too.
Sorry about that. That guy has been harassing me for days now.
What guy?
The one that came out just before you knocked.
Wait, just then?
Yeah, literally 2 seconds before you came in. Anyway, have a seat.
It's good to see you again. How have you been?
Yeah, good. I just working in the legal field, as you can see.
I've heard you got in a car crash.
Yeah, shit happens. I mean, I'm fine now, though. Yeah, it's fine. Anyway, enough about me. Tell me, what have you been up to?
I'm actually a private detective now. That's how I found you. Sophia Vangas has contacted us on your behalf and told us about the series of events that's been happening to you.
Yeah. It's embarrassing to even think about it.
Rachel told me that after her recovery, she was getting some odd clients at work. The first one was Samantha Ferguson. She came for a consultation as she had a dispute with her husband over a child.
I don't think you can help me here. People seem to ignore me all the time, like I don't exist. Are you even listening to me?
Yes, I'm listening.
Lily acts like I'm invisible.
Who's Lily?
My daughter. I don't know what my ex-husband said to her, but she ignores me completely.
Well, these issues are more common than you think.
When Rachel looked up, Samantha was gone. She disappeared as if she never existed.
Samantha?
But the strangest thing was that the notes Rachel made in her notebook were missing. Instead, they were strange letters and numbers. The second strange client was Anthony Stevens. He came in for contractual consultation.
So, Anthony, I see that you work overseas mostly. What do you do for a living?
I'm an event musician.
Oh, where do you perform?
All kinds of places, but I perform at Riviera most of the time these days.
The one in Las Vegas.
That's the one.
But no one performs there anymore. Not for years.
What do you mean? I performed there last week.
It was demolished years ago.
You must be confusing it with something else.
Anthony, can you tell me who our Prime Minister is?
Excuse me?
Just answer the question.
Tony Abbott.
Okay. Oh, and I almost forgot. Can you please sign and date this form? Thank you. Are you running late for something?
Yeah, I'm heading back to the US. I want to make a proposal to my girlfriend.
How old is she?
26.
Says she was born in 1994.
1988. Mathematics is not your strong side.
Anthony has also vanished.
Anthony? I do have these notes.
The handwriting isn't the same in those. Would you mind if I take this with me and run some checks?
No, please, take it. This is so embarrassing and weird. I mean, my roommate from uni is investigating me.
Look, first of all, I am your friend, and you are mentally fit. I remember from uni that you are not hypnotizable, which means it could have been you but someone else taking those notes. Were there any other appearances?
Yes, there was. This one was the weirdest one.
One night, when Rachel was about to close her office, she got visited by a young teenage girl. She looked familiar to Rachel, but Rachel could not remember where she saw her.
We're closing down. Who are you here to see? Where are your parents? All right, I'm Rachel. Take a seat. What can I do for you tonight? What's your name?
Nancy didn't say anything. Instead, she handed over her driver license to Rachel. The driver license was a laminated old-style card that are no longer issued. Its year of expiry was 2014.
Nancy, can you talk? Maybe it's easier for you to write it down. Just give me a second.
Just like the others, Nancy disappeared. On the same night, Rachel saw her visitors again, this time at her home. It was hot and she wanted to wash her face. And suddenly...
You know where it happened. You know the murder.
Would you like some coffee?
Samantha? What are you doing here?
Help yourself.
All right. Fine.
Do you remember what we talked about when we met recently? I've been thinking a lot about it. I can't believe I can't even commit suicide.
Suicide?
I'm already dead.
And at this moment, Rachel finally understood who these visitors are.
Samantha, what are you doing? Let go!
You were supposed to come with me.
They are not just strange clients. They are all dead people. But why are they coming to her? What do they want from her? And how is she supposed to help them?
Look, I know what this sounds like, and if someone else came to me and told me exactly the same thing, I would have rolled my eyes. I never believed in ghosts. And I definitely would not have seen a psychic or a medium if I wasn't told that I'm not insane. I need to figure out what's happening.
So according to Rachel Fitzgerald, she gets visited by dead people who request her help. We need to find out if it's true and whether the dead people are indeed dead, and to figure out what kind of help they're after. Perhaps following the accident, Rachel's trauma led to schizophrenia, but the doctors state that Rachel does not have any disorders. Perhaps it's a hoax. We need to find out whether Samantha Ferguson, Anthony Stevens, and Nancy Lawrence are real people, and whether or not they're dead.
All the forms are filled out correctly along with the detailed case summaries. I am not a doctor, but I can tell you couldn't have done this while hallucinating. Do you have their bank details?
No, none of them use FPOS or any other form of payment.
What about their phone numbers?
Yes, I have Anthony Stevens and Samantha Ferguson in the system, but Nancy Lawrence, her details are missing.
Okay, let's give them a call.
Okay. Anthony's number's unavailable. I'll try Samantha. That's strange. This number doesn't exist anymore.
You do have their addresses, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, let's go to one of them and check it out. Maybe there is a solution to all of it there. We can also stop in my office in the way and get your blood test done.
I've done the blood test 3 times already.
We can have a look at the notes you gave me earlier.
Let's go.
Testosterone, cortisol, and adrenaline hormones are normal, which means that we are not dealing with hallucinations. So we are dealing with something else.
Yeah, and I guess with your experience you would have noticed schizophrenia by now. So what do we have apart from this?
The notepaper is about 8 years old, and the ink is 6 years old.
So basically, anyone could have written this recently on old paper with old ink. So it does look like we're dealing with a hoax. Alright. I'll see what information I can find out about these mysterious clients. I'll reach out to Sergeant Williams, see if the names pop up in the database. What about facial composites? You mentioned you've got a description of these guys.
Give me half an hour. I'll have Rachel in the car with me. We'll quickly go through that, and then we'll check out Anthony and Samantha's addresses.
Rachel and I went to check the first address where Samantha Ferguson was supposed to live.
Hello?
Hi. My name is Alona and I'm an investigator from Mystery Exposed. We would like to talk to Samantha Collins. Is that possible?
Come in.
Samantha Collins was my mother, but she died 6 years ago.
Really sorry to hear that. Could you show us a photo of her, please?
Ah, sure. Just give me a sec. That's her. What is the investigation about?
Did your mum call you Lily?
She did. She was the only one that did that. How did you know? What's going on here?
Look, I don't know how, but your mum and I know each other. I mean,
Unfortunately, we can't disclose the case details at the moment. However, the fact that your mum did call you Lily is very important. Lillian, tell us, how did your mum die?
She died from traumas after a car accident.
And when did that happen?
2014, on May 25th. My dad knows a lot more about it. Seeing him later today, I can ask him if that helps in any way.
That would be great. Here's my card. Please give us a call back if you remember anything new or if you find something out.
Sure.
So Samantha Ferguson is indeed dead. In relation to Nancy Lawrence, Sergeant Williams checked the database and found her name in a missing persons list. On the 25th of May 2014, she had an argument with her parents, left home and never came back. Her photograph looks very similar to the facial composite that alone is sent going off Rachel's description. Considering that she hasn't been found in the last 6 years, the chances that she's alive are low. But even if she is, what are the chances that a teenager's appearance hasn't changed? We need to have a chat with her parents, and perhaps someone just plays a role in this hoax. But who could it be? An angry client? A maniac? We need to find out which cases were the most complex ones in Rachel's career. Hey Michael, I need you to do something for me.
In the meantime, Rachel and I went to where Anthony Stevens was supposed to live.
We really need to talk to Anthony Stevens. Can you help us where to find him?
He's at the cemetery.
You mean he's dead?
Has been for about 6 years now. I'm sorry, I've got to go.
I do apologize. Can you tell us when he died?
May 25th, 2014. Happy? I really have to go.
I'm sorry, are you his wife? I mean, widow?
I'm his sister. He never got married. Why all this interest after all this time?
He was supposed to propose to his girlfriend in the US, right?
See, you know everything already.
I apologize again. Do you happen to have his photo?
No.
Just one last question. Is this him?
That's him.
She doesn't seem to want to talk to us. What if she's involved?
You mean in what's happening to you?
No, not in this. In their death. Look, 3 people are dead, and they all died on the same day. Nancy told me that I know the murderer. What if it was only one person who killed them all, and they want me to find that person? Well, it could be the person.
The only one whose death wasn't confirmed was Nancy Lawrence. Sean asked me to go and have a chat with her mother.
Nancy's father left us when he found out I was pregnant and that I wasn't going to have an abortion. You're not drinking your coffee? Maybe you'd like to mix some rum in it?
No, it's all good. Thank you. Alright, let me ask you a few questions. So, you're in an argument with your daughter, right?
No, never. I mean, we had our little bumps, but other than that, we got on just fine, like everyone else. When Nancy was about 12 years of age, I met Josh. She seemed happy about it at first. Josh fixed everything up around the house. He brought money into our family. And then suddenly Nancy changed. You know, she became jealous because he was with me and not with her.
Excuse me. Go on.
Are you kidding
According
me?
to Madison,
seriously?
on that fatal day, Nancy reproached her mother for not loving her.
You never even loved me. The only thing you cared about was men and sex, you bitch. I hate you. I hate both you and him. You know what? Fuck you. Fuck you both.
I thought she'd cool down and come back. But she didn't come back. I never saw her again. I could never forgive myself for that.
Thanks for the lift. Welcome. Are you heading home?
No, I gotta stop at the office first. Gotta finish some work.
Okay. All right. Good night. Good night.
Once Rachel was on her own, she again experienced an unexplainable sighting.
Beethoven once said, "Music is the mediator between the spiritual and the sensual life." You must remember. Remember.
So what do we have in retrospect? All 3 clients are dead and that's a straight fact.
Nancy is still missing. We don't know if she's dead.
I mean, yeah, but neither her nor her family had anything to do with Rachel.
Well, if you take Rachel's superpowers after clinical death into consideration, then your hoax theory doesn't work either.
Okay, but I mean, what if someone found out about the accident and used that to their advantage? I think it would be beneficial to dig further into the case with the clients.
I thought of that. Rachel had a client, the case wasn't successful. He lost pretty much everything, ended up committing suicide.
there you go. Speak to Rachel, do a list for the clients, and maybe there's someone else who has a reason for revenge. Right. Let's get out of here. We've both got to be up early tomorrow.
Next morning, I went to Rachel's office to find out about all of the unsuccessful cases she had in the past, and whether any of her clients could have a potential reason for a revenge.
Yes, there were some problematic cases in the past, but nothing major that would trigger such hatred towards me. I mean, I used to be a science person, but now I'm starting to believe that I'm dealing with something that is way beyond our understanding.
Look, I get it, that you want to believe in all of that. But right now, I need you to think of someone who could have hypothetically recreated it all.
No, I can't think of anyone that would do that.
Rachel kept insisting that all that is happening to her is the consequence of a clinical death, and that she can now see dead people. She asked Sophia to help make contact with 3 spirits in our office.
Now, your job is to guess what each card is.
Two. Four. Ace. 3.
Rachel, it seems like you may have some kind of extrasensory ability to make contact with the chosen spirits. I heard of such things, but the problem with that is you must have a strong connection with the chosen spirit. And as far as I'm aware, you do not have any direct connections with the spirits you're seeing.
No. I only started seeing them after their death.
Okay. Right, let's try and make contact with one of them. Who was the first one?
Samantha.
Okay. Now, call her from deep within. Ask her to send us a sign that if she's here. Call her the way you feel is the right way of calling her.
Samantha. Samantha, I see you. You're real. Do you see me? Give me a sign.
I apologize. It's Lillian. Excuse me? Hi, Lillian.
Lillian told me that her father gave her more details about her mother's death. Her mother died 6 years ago, after she got hit by a car. 3 people died in that accident, including the driver. It happened on the 25th of May 2014, the same day when Anthony Stevens died, the same day when Nancy Lawrence left her home. The numbers and the letters on Lisa's notes stood for the car rego and the date of the accident, written backwards.
Thank you.
It happened on the road on the May 25th, 2014.
I remember now. I was 23. I walked to uni and there was something on the road. Yes. Hang on. I woke up in the hospital, but I can't exactly remember what happened. Something distracted me. I was crossing the street and then I stopped.
You never told us anything about that. You're not hypnotizable, right?
No.
Right. Rachel, I think I've got an idea. An hour later, Rachel, Alona and I went to the road where the incident happened. I was hoping that seeing the place would trigger Rachel's memories to come back. I wasn't wrong.
This is where it happened. I remember that place right there.
All right, Rachel. What happened next? Why did you end up in hospital?
Because
Everybody has problems, love. My daughter, I don't know what my ex-husband said to her, but she ignores me completely. Do you know what I mean?
Beethoven once said, music is the mediator between the spiritual and the sensual life.
because they all got hit right in front of me. And their lifeless bodies. Except for Nancy, she stood up. She was badly injured, but she walked away.
Rachel was lucky enough to have stopped just in time for the car not to have hit her on that fatal day. Everyone else involved, including the driver, died. It was the driver and Nancy who appeared first to Rachel when she came home from the hospital after a crash. Rachel's accident provoked her subconsciousness to unblock painful memories of the tragedy. Sometime later, Rachel recalled two other people who were involved in the accident. Samantha, who found Nancy on the street and offered help. And Anthony, a musician who happened to be on the same street on the 25th of May 2014. Rachel remembered their names, which she found out when she was questioned during the investigation. So I got a call from Sergeant Williams. Based on the new information, they conducted another search of the area. They found Nancy's body. She was about 300 metres from where the accident happened. She must have been so angry with her mother that after she got hit, she just hid. Due to the blood loss, she passed out and just never woke up.
Poor thing.
Trooper told her, I just never thought anything like this was actually possible. The human brain can do some strange things sometimes.
But still, what was it, Sean? If it wasn't the hallucinations, then what?
What we've got here is a rare phenomenon called synesthesia.
Synesthesia? What's that?
It's a special way of interpreting information where information that would normally activate one sense activates several.
And that started happening after the incident in 2014?
Yeah, so after her clinical death, her brain just blacked out these memories. After she got hit, on the other hand, well, her subconscious started playing a cruel trick. It started reconstructing the memories.
And the notes?
Well, again, that was her subconsciousness. It was dictating to her all the information she once knew when she was writing these. Her handwriting was impacted also. It wasn't actually someone else writing these notes. It was the fact that Rachel couldn't write properly when she was having these visions. The fact that the notebook and the pen, the ink, was old, well, that can be explained by Rachel putting a notebook and a pen in a drawer about 3 years ago. Due to the accident, she didn't remember where it was. So, during these visions, her subconsciousness would take it out and put it back, and her conscious mind just never noticed because it was focusing on the visions.
Intriguing.
Yeah. But that's a good job, well done. Alex called me earlier. He said that Sophia wants to thank us in person for helping with the case, and she's invited us for a night out, so I say, let's go get a drink.